Let's take a little bit of time and let's take a look at MSTY and see what it looks like now on the chart after we've had those red days. Hello my friends, this is Legend. So today we're going to take a quick look at MSTY and see where it's at on the chart and see how well they've done or not done. So let's just slide right over to the Webull chart and check it out. So here we are on MSTY, and I've got that pulled up here, and it looks like it closed today at $20.33. So it closed 4 cents under the price that it closed on Friday. So pretty flat as far as the movement, but as you can see today, we did have a bit of a drop because you have that long wick on the bottom. It actually went as low as $19.30. So it did drop down a good bit, and it went as high as $20.72 and then closed at that $20.33 for today. We still got our support line right here. That's that red line, where we were using that as a support for holding MSTY up. And of course then we have this orange line, which seems to be more of a resistance line. It did touch it and came down. Now Friday we had that big red candle here, and today we did have a green candle, but it's just because it actually moved up, so it opened lower than it closed today. But the close was still under the close from Friday, so therefore we get the red numbers here. So let's take a look at MR and see if we can see where we're headed with that. And as you can see here on MR, it looks very familiar with MSTY, and looks like it did have a little bit of a green candle as well today. And let's go ahead and switch this over. I've got the EMAs turned on, but let's go ahead and flip this over to the adjusted chart. Okay, so here we are on the adjusted chart. For the actual chart, we look at that resistance and that support lines, which gives us this actual prices, right? The adjusted accounts for any distributions and investor momentum. So as you can see here, like I said, I've got the EMAs turned on. We did drop below that yellow line and the orange line. The yellow line being the EMA 60 and the orange line being the EMA 48. So that EMA 60 is the one that I would like for this price to get up above. And if we can get above that 60 up here and close up here, hopefully then we can use that EMA 60 to bounce off of and then move this on up. But right now we are under that, but we are above the 200 EMA right here. Okay, so that's the exponential moving average. So it is staying above that 200, which that's a good sign, but the market has been red, right? It keeps going down. We don't know where that bottom is, but I tell you, there was a lot of opportunities today to buy some really good blue chip stocks for really good prices. Let's just look at the moving average versus the exponential moving average. So I'm going to turn the EMA off, and now I'm going to turn on the moving average. So as you can see, we hit that 20-day moving average right here, and using that as a resistance, right? It's got to get above that as well, right? So if we can get above these EMAs or the EMAs, then we can hopefully use that as a bouncing board to hopefully get back up here to our resistance line where we originally had for that top, and then hopefully we can break out of that on MR. And if we can do that for MR, then hopefully MSTY will follow. So let's just take a quick look at the overall market and let's see where we're at on that. Here we are on the overall market, and this is the SPY, which is the S&P 500, and I like to use it to see how the overall market is running. And as you can see today, we actually had a nice big green candle. It went down pretty low this morning, but then recovered and ended up actually closing higher than the close of Friday. Now that was a big swing for today because it went as low as 546.87 and it went as high as 560.71. So that's a lot of movement, but it was a movement onto the upside. But the SPY here, we are below that 200 EMA. So we really need SPY to get on back up in here. So it needs to get on back above that 200 EMA. And let's check out the EMAs and see where we're at on that. So here's the EMAs, and just like the before, we are below the 200 EMA. So we really need that price to get back up here. And we'll see, it will actually need to break through that 200. And there will be some resistance there, as you can see right here, where it did go up, hit it on this candle, and then fell back down. Now we've gone and we touched and actually went below it a little bit, our support line, but it did go back up. So we'll see. It might be trying to test that 200 EMA again, or the 200 EMA, either one. And if it can, then hopefully we can get above that 200 EMA here, and then work to get above that 60 EMA right here. That would be our ultimate goal, because if we can get above that, hopefully then we can use that as a springboard to get back up here where we belong. But keep in mind, the market has just been red for a while now, so make sure that you keep that in mind whenever you're buying stocks and such. It is great buy times, but nobody knows where the bottom is. So I keep nibbling in on some of these stocks, but since I don't know where that bottom is, I am only nibbling, as I want to make sure I keep cash so that I can continue to buy as it continues to drop. Now the downside to that is, if we've hit the bottom and then start shooting up, I would have missed the bottom then. So therefore, that's why I am still buying on some of these big blue chip stocks, but I'm not jumping all in at once, because each time you think that's the low, it seems to create a new low. Just even today, right? Friday, that was a pretty low right there. That's a pretty low. And then over here, we had that support line that we drew, and we actually broke below the low here. And then we went as low as 546.87. So you never know where that bottom is. So that's why you don't want to jump in fully, but actually nibble in as you go. But I believe over time, these stocks like SPY, VOO are going to be just fine over time. But I did buy a little bit of Meta. I bought some Google, and I bought Microsoft. And I did that today. And just a quick glance here, as you can see, Meta dropped below the 200 EMA here. So I bought that. Google is below the 200 EMA. So I bought that one. And Microsoft below the 200 EMA. Now, granted, it's been below it for a while, right? So that's what I mean by nibbling in. So when it hits a price and it gets that RSI gets below that 10 on the RSI 2, then I am looking to maybe buy a share. Nibbling in. That's all I'm doing, nibbling in. But anyway, for MSTY and these YieldMax ETFs, right now I am just kind of holding, but I will say, I just noticed, if you look, it is below the 10 on the RSI 2. So maybe I'll go in and I'll purchase a couple shares just because it is below that 2 on the RSI. Looks like it's sitting at about $20.23 after hours right here. So that is below my average cost. So it wouldn't be a bad thing to maybe buy a little bit now. But I would like for it to get back down to that 200 EMA. And we never know. Tomorrow we might get that. Who knows? Because tomorrow we could be up. And unless you have a crystal ball, and if you do, let me know what to do. And I think we'll all just jump in 100%. So I think I'm going to wrap it up right there. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. It'd be much appreciated. And as always, I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence before you get into any stock plays. And until next time, legend out.